Over the past months, I have had countless meetings, phone calls, and on-site visits with organizations that serve people who are unhoused in our community. This motion is long overdue, and I find it embarrassing that it has come to this in any Canadian city. After 3 years on this council, I know that we are not in a position to solve the housing crisis on our own. However, we are in a position to make choices that make our community less cruel and more caring and safe for those without housing. At last count, 80,000 people in Ontario are unhoused, living outdoors, exposed to dangerous weather conditions. At the same time, provincial policy has removed rent control protections on many units. To be specific, buildings first occupied after November 15, 2018, including new apartments, additions, converted basement apartments, are exempt from standard rent control. These policy decisions have consequences, and we're seeing them play out in our communities, and that burden falls on the municipal taxpayer. This crisis did not happen overnight. When I was 13 years old, the federal government ended funding for cooperative housing. When I was 16, the funding for social housing was entirely eliminated, and this is the result. We need social housing, and without it, people will die. In Canada, people are dying because of poverty. The motion before you has two equally important parts. The first is to lower the threshold for action and proactively locate people who are unhoused, bringing them into shelter so they can get warm and safe. The second is to treat individuals who are part of the shelter system as missing persons when they do not return, recognizing that their absence may signal a serious risk and requires immediate response. This legislation is currently in place. I want to ensure that we are following it in the region. This motion is not about solving everything. It's about activating provincial legislation that is already in place and adjusting the cold weather threshold. We have to make it less cruel for those who are living without housing. And it is about acknowledging that doing nothing is also a decision, one with devastating consequences. The Missing Persons Act 2018 and the Missing Persons Amendment Act are public health guidelines. Both of these acts received royal assent. For councillors who are not familiar with the shelter system, shelters are considered congregate settings. Congregate living settings are defined as facilities where individuals who are not related live or stay overnight and share common spaces such as bedrooms, bathrooms, and dining areas. The definition includes emergency shelters, 24-hour drop-ins, and warming centers. When someone is expected in shelter because they are currently residing in shelter or known to reside in the shelter, they should be cared for in the same manner as we care for those in long-term care. We have a responsibility to keep them safe and well. And in 3 years, I've not heard this addressed at council. Not making these changes has a cumulative effect in other public services. According to information provided to me by Niagara Health in 2024-25 fiscal year, and Chair, this speaks to your comments earlier about sharing service and there being one taxpayer. Niagara Health recorded 5,097 emergency department visits by individuals who are not housed. This is a 51.7 increase compared to the previous year. The pressure on Niagara Health increases in winter months when, as we are all more vulnerable to illness. Niagara has an opportunity to take the lead. We have declared it an emergency. So I'm asking you to please vote to adjust the threshold, follow provincial legislation in place, and ensure that people who are not housed are treated with dignity, respect, and care. Thank you for your time, Chair.